Probably more than anything, I found Tom Ford's film adaptation of Nocturnal Animals to be an exploration of juxtaposition and repetition, as it revolves around a woman who, when sent a novel written by her ex-husband, is forced to wrestle with the sins of her past, while at the same time acknowledge the metaphorical purgatory of her present. Immediately, the film's very first images all but defy the viewer not to pay attention, shockingly juxtaposing what most in society would deem to be a rather unattractive subject with an extremely attractive and often sultry shooting style, a style that is gorgeously maintained throughout the film by its prolific fashion designer-director, Tom Ford, as well as his outstanding cinematographer, Seamus McGarvey. And for a film that is completely obsessed with pulling the viewer into the characters' minds as to experience with them their thoughts and emotions, juxtaposition can be a powerful tool. Indeed, as Russian filmmaker Lev Kuleshov concluded, the audience creates meaning when they encounter images that are juxtaposed to one another. He argues, for example, that the audience will perceive different emotions on this man's face depending upon what the subsequent shot shows. A bowl of soup, they will see hunger. A dead child, sadness. An attractive woman, lust. In the same way, Francis Ford Coppola knew that were he to intercut Michael Corleone's godson's christening with a joyous family celebration instead of acts of violence and bloodshed, the viewer would have extrapolated a much different meaning from that sequence. Likewise, as Nocturnal Animals intercuts between its three distinct storylines that are narratively quite different one to the other, its A plotline extremely internal and quiet, its B plotline intensely external and violent, and its C plotline strikingly simple and tepid, the viewer is invited to deduce the thematic and philosophical ideas that bind them all together. So not only do the encounters with Aaron Taylor Johnson's Ray in the B plotline help to illuminate the kind of helplessness and heartbreak that Gyllenhaal's Edward is experiencing in the C plotline, but also through that villainous character's illogical, irrational, and unreasonable desires, the viewer better understands how illogical, irrational, and unreasonable is the antagonist from the A plotline, that being the feeling of dissatisfaction that is crushing Amy Adams's Susan. Which indeed makes her entire existence a juxtaposition, her life filled with material wealth and success, but her soul concurrently depleted of joy and fulfillment. And in that way, Nocturnal Animals is a powerful examination of the human soul, and how its longings so often come in conflict with an impossible to reason with, barter with, or bribe dissatisfaction. Stepping back, one could even argue that the real power of both Gyllenhaal's and Adams's performances come from their contrasting characterizations plotline to plotline. So Adams's cold and dispassionate persona in plotline A, for example, is made all the more compelling as it's juxtaposed to her youthful naivete in plotline C. And used as frequently as juxtaposition and to equally great effect in this film is repetition. And more often than not, as Ford repeats a camera move, oftentimes dollying a second or third time past a subject, he's inviting the audience to pay closer attention, playing upon the viewer's understanding that a double take isn't made without purpose, and there must be something more to see and assess. In a similar way, the director had his composer craft a striking musical theme, which plays in whole over that extremely jarring opening sequence, so that every time that musical theme repeats throughout the film, the audience is once again drawn back to the emotion of that opening sequence. And this visual and musical repetition and back and forth connects thematically to the tug-of-war within the characters between who they want to be and who they really are. And all of this juxtaposition and repetition continue to crescendo throughout the film until ultimately it climaxes in this rather ambiguous ending. But just like the rest of the film, the meaning of that ending can at least be sought out by examining how the endings of plotlines A, B, and C either echo or contrast one another. When it's all said and done, Nocturnal Animals consistently implements uniquely cinematic tools to draw the viewer into its narrative and themes, and even in the moments when writer-director Tom Ford fails to fully maximize the tension or maintain his distinctive style, there's still almost always something to engage with and enjoy. And for all these reasons, I will give the film a 4 out of 5. I would still love to know what you guys thought of the film, though, so definitely comment below and let me know. In a lot of ways, this film kind of reminded me of David Lynch's work, specifically specifically Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet. So with that in mind, what is one of your favorite or a few of your favorite kind of psychological, creepy, gets under your skin thrillers? I would love to hear about it. And finally, please do subscribe. I'm going to continue to review films and television on this channel, and I would love for you to stay up to date on all of those things. But for now, I'm Chris Hartwell. This is The Heartbeat. Thank you for joining me.